Hello, dear Judge Napolitano. Your Honor, next to Fox Connecticut News are a number of people from my town, like two Mendez police. That's in Hartford, Connecticut, involved with the buildings next to them. Also, the Domain family is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with predicate acts with classes I took when I was a kid, with the teachers, communications with the teachers. Repeated about how he was Jewish. And a Jewish teacher I had in his class, he said next to her, everyone in that class recorded involved with predicate acts. One of the people's was Congressman Larson's relative. Nice kid. But the woman repeated, they were repeating things trying to get me to make a statement so they could take it out of context. I didn't make any. Then she said that, she repeated that, and repeated that she knew something about a girl living near me kissing some other girl, a Jewish family. Now there's a Ray Claw, he used to use the word Jew all the time in front of Paul Zano. I only been in the car 3 times with him, and each time was towards the campus. Recorded, confessed, demonstrated real quick. They were involved with identity thefts and frauds. Now he's got relatives named, I believe, named Puzo. I had a conversation, anything to do with them. People involved with a place on Park Street in Hartford, Alina's Pizza. Now these are people, you said, Your Honor, that you guys provide writing when you go to courts. These are people when I was in 6th grade that in Weathersfield that made confessions tied to a Lance Cuddy, who's involved, and then there was confessions when I was in high school tied to that. They would make confessions when I would come around corners too. The people involved with this, they're also involved with Asian countries like Korean, I guess, because it's a Taekwondo places in Rocky Hill off Route 3, and New Britain Avenue, in Rocky Hill, and they're. So in other words, I need writing because the judges have been switching names rules with state's attorneys doing that too. So the judicial branch does that distinctly from the executive branch that does that also, involved with wire crimes with you guys over the last months and over the last years. I've been asking you for years online. When I call the police, they replace what is actually recorded with fabricated audio and video transcripts. So they are recorded, communicating to me and others since I was a kid. That and how they put even people into fake words with them on their police station, fake quotations. They put kids in fake locations on campuses like Central Connecticut State University that are filmed 24/7, like Trinity College that are filmed 24/7. They put fake narratives, fake ties between people on campus together, fake words between people on campus together, fake ties, fake natures of ties between people too. On and off campuses connected. They're kept needing to hide live progressions, which is also recorded how maintained. Former Director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, in his defendant capacities, Robert Chevrolet, his lawyer, and in a 2006 district court part of a case that was ongoing at the time of my father's death. They have a whole bunch of roles of people that have tied me to fake conversations about that case and about police and about the courts. And, then they'll say, oh, well, look, you were saying bad stuff about us online. They sought me out to forge names, switch names, and make confessions about that, which is a threat when you confess and demonstrate you're involved with fabricating falsified police reports, switching the officers' names to ones that weren't even there. They have a registration, like where the judge types in a warrant, and then someone else goes and grabs it, and then they just take you. And they time things. So these guys are involved with all sides of my house, with uses of the sense and sensibilities of their own neighbors and roles with other locations too, intercities, which is how it's recorded. Because even intercities, those people have ties to the same house, /S. That same house tied to the other ones, and the other one tied to it through time. With like Weathersfield Police Department has a Jamie Smith, who said that the corner of who involved the corner of Fair Lane Drive and Carriage Hill Drive, when I was walking back, apparently demonstrably timed, late at night. I took a cab and got out early because it was cheaper that way. When I went downtown. In other words, these people sustain different people all connected since I was a kid. Instances, then they pretend to know me just because he lives next to me. So he's screaming out about how if I want to go do ecstasy with them. His mother used to answer the phones for the police. Other people that answer the phones for the police have been involved with wire crimes, forging names, switching names with officers. How many years do I have to sit here and beg for? When I was a kid, they wouldn't give writing. They wouldn't provide writing. They put all exceptions, exception nature, and demonstration or other. On one of your news networks, Fox News or CNN or MSNBC or ABC, CBS, NBC, they reported that 97% conviction rate. Now, they know they are recorded conscious that they are evidence racketeering natures, criminally foreign influence, sequence shifts, identity thefts, and frauds. They've been influenced to tell, like they know you're going to go downtown. They know that these people. There's something with the intelligence community with the buildings downtown Hartford and with New Haven. And with the guy when I was down there one time offered me if I wanted to smoke one of those electronic cigarettes. You know, at that time when they had people reportedly being sent to the hospital on a mass scale before a semester started. They were giving people something that was making them pass out and go to the hospital. Those hospitals are involved with various natures of courts that are distinctly, non-distinctly, and simultaneously criminally foreign influence, and with their family members, and with uses of their extended family members increasingly, and how they had generations involved with Hartford campuses and Wethersfield campuses, the same ones. The same ones are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated through time involved with Central Connecticut State University in New Britain that involved criminally with the child campuses in my town, and with all that is actually manifest with the corners tied to the street through time. Now there's an O'Brien family with the intelligence community at Central Connecticut State University with these officers forging and switching names. There's an officer Poisson, Possion. I don't know what he looks like. I never saw him before. He's one of the officers involved with forging names, switching names, falsified police report with a principal sex offenders campus, child abuser, with other people more involved with his roles with upskirts, with their roles with upskirts natures, behind them skirt natures, and sending a picture of one of them to me on Trinity College. On Twitter. And on Facebook, they have a daughter, apparently, of one of the Brendan Leahys that attached me to both of them, their whole family members and other family members there, and people tied to them, attaching me to fake locations, fake words with them, and with people tied to them through time. All exceptions, exception nature, and demonstration, same thing. He had whole, complete, fake conversations with me. And the only conversation I had with him, he knows, it was, I want a lawyer. I want to talk to this guy. They also contorted their bodies in relationship to me. Him and a Dr. Zeman. Also with their patients and criminals. Involved fake words with me. The Zeman guys also, I had a couple more words with him. And only about the same thing. I want a lawyer. He also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated has roles with New Britain Superior Court through time with federal crime. There was also a person that was there, apparently had their family members working there. I don't know, a guy who looked like him. He brought up how he was hurt or real or made up. He said about someone hurt his eye, some young man with glasses. And he was a suit. He brought up a legal suit because they also have the lawyers that work for the hospital recorded criminally foreign influence delusions wrought and exploited that way. All kinds of rules, crimes, predators. And their roles with the names of forging and switching into branch and in private with that. Now they have locations where they do the same thing because they've been in offensive evidence reception racketeering. So they need to hide lie progressions. They need to hide their actually recorded standing natures of criminal insidiousness natures, criminally legalized, self-valuing that because that's all, we have the right to lie. The right to lie quote, the right to lie, unquote, is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. One of the things that show that their roles with the elections locations. Weathersfield town offices has Afghanistan families and has Korean families involved with the Kerr family and with Heather Hansen and with her mother and father and her brothers. I don't know her brothers' names, and her neighbors. There's a Gary Briggs on that street, Church Street in Old Weathersfield, and there's a house on the corner. There's that was reportedly confessed and demonstrated involved with a doctor, a Mr. Gilmore. And he's reportedly a Dr. Gilmore. There is a Dr. Gilmore who pretended conversations with me, inclusion with Christina Sioka, who works at the Institute of Living before she worked for them as a doctor. She was recorded and confessed and demonstrated involved with various natures of federal crimes, intercities with them, and with of people on the child sex offender registry, involved with mail crimes, wire crimes with them, and physical delusions as people who are supposed to be speech pathologists. These are also people involved with the various departments at Central Connecticut State University, recorded sickly distinctly having been used remotely criminally. Chris Walters is involved with his mother and brothers and sister, interstates with Washington, D.C., and with World Trade Center involved people on and off all sides of the Weathersfield High School. He recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed. I never saw him near Joe Lombardo. Joe Lombardo and him and people on all sides of the high school are involved with my neighbor and his cousin, also attaching me and having attached me to fake locations with his people associated with them. Phil Cololo, he lied to pretend to be a friend of mine to my mother. He's one of the many names that were involved with predicate acts when I was growing up. Now these are people with the names forging and switching tied to that, where they prevent writing in courts criminally while you're saying other top down. The bottom up is criminally foreign influence, and top down is criminally foreign influence because your sources, including the former director of the FBI, is criminally involved with his co-defendants, like involved with Thaddeus Grabowski, involved with the Mendez police and the two Domain brothers and family, involved with predicate acts, and with people, all these people involved with the Spada family, involved with a Lowe's, where Lowe's is now. It used to be in that shopping center, the shopping center across the street, the policing of it. Also associated with military. There's a Chet Casper and people in the Casper family. I don't know his never met his sister. I never had a communication with him verbally. He had ties with Mr. Potter associated with the judicial branch offices, with a whole bunch of people. There's a Thomas Potter also on Facebook, with physical delusions, making up lies and pretending things about me mentally, with people that work. He's recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed, even on Facebook, with a whole bunch of other people on off the state judicial branch offices, with identity thefts and frauds, slanders of me and others, and their roles with a Faenza family on off the state, with houses next to the state judicial branch offices that are roles with the body dumping spot of Billy Grasso. Confessions of that confirmed on Facebook. They took that Facebook page away from me. There were also police forms that confessed, demonstrated, recorded. They were pretending other, but simultaneously confessing that there was the roles of undercover police forms with this, which is how I figured out also how that they have the acting coaches, also through Facebook. There's a Frankie Reese associated with Bristol Central Schools, and she's involved with people that run prisons, interstates, and with police forms, foreign and domestic, and military, foreign and domestic, on and off Trinity College, involved with predicate acts with her, and uses of Facebook to hide that, and roles with that, and with the Weathersfield Police intercities, with their roles with predicate acts on my street, and they attach Saudi families to roles with them with predicate acts over here. There's why it's relevant before the World Trade Center attack and after it, sickly distinctly. And in the context, sickly distinctly. Central Connecticut State University has a number of ties to the World Trade Center, to Washington, D.C., that were recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. Also with demonstrations recorded that tied to the ground locations. Chris Walters said that That's the northern side. Excuse me, the northern side, or the northeastern side, the northern side of Central Connecticut State University. Was involved with him when I was in high school. He went to a different school. When he went to a private school that was across the parking lot from my Southstein Middle School public school. Now there's a whole bunch of people tied with them, with this Chris Walters and Joe Lombardo and his family members involved with Hartford Hospital with drugs and medicines crimes with kids. And they're also using it to keep all the sense and sensibilities of everyone that wants to be, they want to have a good time. They want to have, they don't want to get in trouble for things. So they have that employed to keep them hiding criminally foreign influence life aggressions and pretending other. They have people with Rocky Hill schools recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with this. I've been asking to follow it in order, though, because everyone's forcing everyone to speak through others, and they make the confessions intercities connected. So they make the time delayed, too. While they're delaying the time, they keep stacking more fabricated audio and video. They separate subjects when it's where and how. That's their styles. They separate subjects while they're evidence racketeering and they're rules crimes predators, so you can't counter it. And so they've been delaying, they've been hiding what I said to you, and or with the Fox News. I'll sign that I won't sue you if you follow mandated law and give me these people's names. They're involved with outside of Fox Connecticut News in Hartford as the ones on off the Wethersfield Police Department involved with federal crimes with you guys and with WFSB's fake words they attach me and others to, fake outcomes in cases. Now, the doctors who did that and their colleagues also had recorded roles criminally with the co-defendant, with the defendants in cases that lost. They lost those cases before they were the co-defendants of former director of the FBI in 2006. Now their co-defendants, their family members, and their friends, they were involved with predicate acts on off Trinity College that were connected to on off my high school, where they were pretending to know me when I come through a corner. And then they would wait a while, and then they would demonstrate that person did that in relationship to this person. They're trying to get reactions from people and or non-reactions, and then they use that. But not for the reasons they're pretending. They're not legitimately trying to investigate things. They're not legitimately trying to do anything. The short words are that and how a breaching method caused slavery. And that means a breaching method caused where and how correlation knows that no science with passions and emotions true did not speak for Hartford, Connecticut, let alone New York City, let alone for one city across the globe. We're in a semi-ancient trap that was set up since before the scale of it means to maintain it, set up since before our founding parents were born by that which was sophistication here with a breaching method, sickly distinctly with slavery in the north, sickly from the south. All suits and ties roles now are still manifest in relationship to that. Now see, they blame on if they blamed on racism honestly and not with delusions, not as rules crimes predators, we would have gotten through that. We would have revealed what it actually is because it's actually recorded. They knew that would cause negative value. What they set up would cause negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures that everyone will blame on other things other than themselves. They knew that people would be speaking for values, leaving out how value has to do with identity's semi-nature relationship to its complete nature. What's going to cause positive value nature progressions, acts, and natures, or negative ones? What inventions are going to work or not in relationship to it or not? And if it's going to work in relationship to it, which is a value that is simultaneous actually. They're going to be further positive or not in relationship to it. So we have criminal insidiousness natures of positive treatment only allowed to be heard each age of us by ourselves. A nature criminally legalized criminal insidiousness, increasingly self-valued. So the facts-finding mission missions and all the narratives before the elections were all recorded involved with the elections racketeering, and then the breaching screens, pretending to be against such, pretending to be against the insurrection, whatever they labeled it. It's way worse than they make it a physical thing. They're physical delusions. I was trying to say, you could see that coming. You could see that coming everywhere. I was trying to say that's why I tried to donate the idea of the Tangler 3000 or whatever. Because, in other words, peaceful means to control places when those things are going to go, when everyone's just going to be, the monies they spend are only in the furtherance of, breaching screen natures of patriotism, natures of only having spoken for science. So please follow mandated law and you'll allow injunctive reliefs, because that's what it's involved with. It's not just me that these people have been hurting intercities. And there are people with that St. Anthony's Church, like a Perone family and a Kerr family. And that's right around the corner from Fox Connecticut News in Hartford, Connecticut. And the building next to that, they changed the name over time. A couple times it was, I don't know how many times it was a Russian lady. Is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with the Cian Faglione family, with a Brian Silver is involved with his brother and family, with a Leahy family also, with New Britain Superior Court, with all sides of Central Connecticut State University, involved with people involved with Mr. Neville, that also attached me to fake words and fake ties and natures of ties to people, including Rick Cian Faglione, who I don't think he himself knows that. I had nothing to do with Rick Cian Faglione when he was in my class there in middle school. I had no class with him in grammar school. And there was people trying to start a fight between me and Rick, and then they used Paul Zano for that. In other words, they put Paul Zano next to me. And I didn't communicate with him because they were playing a game with that. Now, that's something to do with his location, where his parents' dry cleaner's office is, and where his is involved with the locations next to it. Like, used to be a Arch Pizza there, and those people involved with that location through time. And there's the police chief's Mazzucato family. There's a Mazzucato bakery there on the corner near on Route 3 in the Rocky Hill side. It's right by Road 3, goes by the State Judicial Branch offices in Wethersfield. But the point is, they're not giving writing, and you guys are saying that you guys are giving writing. You guys are using your Facebook pages to discredit legitimate information and to make it like it's between you. It's a problem between the fact-finding people. You guys are calling people disinformation. You guys are making no premises and physical delusions with your premises, like what you have entertained with insurrection. It's a quality of fact, cheapy nature that can't counter criminal insidiousness nature, not by accident, offensively. It can't defend itself and be a quality of fact, cheapy nature capable of dealing with the juxtaposed natures of criminal insidiousness nature. Either. I'm not even a lawyer. So their physical delusions and their rules, crimes, predators, methods, roles, multi-front. With the news, stealing our identities to fake words, what with them in the courts simultaneously, sickly, distinctly is still recorded. So please follow mandated law and get them onto one name in sequence, the New Britain Superior Court judges and the ones that came before the Judge Killian. Then we'll deal with his physical delusions and criminally foreign influenced family members' uses and self, and the people associated with him, with these fake conversations with me, and with the New Britain Superior Court confessions also. Their roles with jury, with how they mess with juries. Not one time since founding has anyone spoke with logic properly, let alone sanely, for the people that are in Hartford, Connecticut, which is, you know, let alone New York City, let alone countries throughout the world are here, there, shared suit and tie fakes, top down. How are they going to speak for us and pretend to be integrity? To pretend that they don't have time. Real fast and real slow and easy and perfect. We can go forward with evolution. We just have to have, I don't know, we have to know who disbelieves. I need to have them onto one name in sequence. Because you have Wethersfield Police forging and switching names over the last 4 months with you guys. Also, introducing more names also. That means they're introducing more family members. They have more people with the name Sullivan, which is also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with people with identity thefts and frauds, sequence shifts. And all these confessions and uses of when they make all these confessions from other people to strangers at one at the same time. Because then no one could go back and be honest about the locations. This is how the overt criminal enterprise were most furthered. This is what they are most furthered for. This is why they have you guys in collusion with this Sammy the Bull Carvano up there trying to establish truths on YouTube with the fake police, with the fake YouTube pages pretending to be me, and the fake Facebook pages pretending to be me. The same people recorded tied to him with military, various natures of military family, various natures of identity theft and fraud instances, roles, and uses of it, and ties to the corner of Walcott Hill, and that route that goes from Wethersfield all the way through Newington into Central Connecticut State University. Also involved with the people on my street with the predicate acts, with narrative, fact sheet, nature oriented wise. So they're forcing me to use other people's names while they're delaying. That's why I need their names, because their sources are criminally foreign influenced. And then even though that's true, they're also victims. They're forced to be victim predators, only capable of it too, because since what they were doing to them and with that campus since before they went to it. And although it's also connected to how before they came here, like the Cololo family brought up by the Wethersfield Police that called me forging, switching names, making confessions about that, stacking more names of officers into it. They're starting fights between neighbors. They're slandering people. They want me if they have some managers at Stop and Shop. One of them is a Jamie Smith. I don't know if he still is. And there are his brothers, a David Smith, involved with fire departments and with Wethersfield Police Department through time, involved with the people who answer the phone with him. And they're involved with ecstasy. And, you know, even down to the various natures, qualities of pot they use to control people to hide their lipoaggressions. Now, these are also the people involved with drugs and medicines crimes, with the physical delusions, at the same time, evidence racketeering. Same people involved with the policing of the pharmacies, not by accident. They can't afford to have mandated law followed. So they have a whole bunch of people tied to the corner of Two-Rod Highway and Southstein Highway, and to the shopping center there, and to the ones in the city, in Wethersfield further, and in Rocky Hill further. There's a scuba shack that is also brought up by the confessions that didn't make sense of a Rick Siam Faglione about the Leahy family involved with drugs and medicines crimes with them, and they use that with the roles with that Dean Alford from Central Connecticut State University has also with his neighbors, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with a whole bunch of people from Wethersfield on and off the child offenders campus, having been and being involved with the departments of CTSU that are involved with predicate acts with them, and with these officers switching in names and forging names with the courts. I shouldn't have to sit here and beg for hours and hours. If I call the police, they're going to replace they keep replacing what is actually recorded with fabricated audio and video transcripts. Please get them to one name in sequence. And please hurry up.